Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to another Final Fantasy 15 information video, this time bringing you some details from the most recent ATR, that is Active Time Report, coming out of the Tokyo Game Show. Now, we haven't had a Nova Chrysalis article in a while here on the channel, so I want to take this opportunity to thank them for not only doing this right up on their own website, but for live translating the ATR, which obviously was only available in Japanese audio, on Twitter. If you like hearing those things and you appreciate the article, you know what to do. Go to the description of the video, follow them on social media, and of course, follow their website. Give them the clicks as well if you're watching this, because they deserve it. They're the one who put this article together. I don't know what the hell would be going on otherwise. So, moving on to the details that came out of the Final Fantasy 15 ATR. For the most part, it focused on more details from Final Fantasy 15's upcoming multiplayer expansion, Comrades. Now, you may remember that they revealed the release date for Comrades to be October 31st, 2017. That being said, we now have some additional details about the content, stuff that kind of just elaborates stuff we already knew. They also showed some gameplay, which I believe Nova Chrysalis has also taken the time to clip. We may show that over some portions of this video, just so you can get an idea of what you're looking at. But in case you're unfamiliar, you take control of a Kingsglaive member, you team up with other Kingsglaive members to undertake missions, protect places, attack places, and generally remove fiends from the area. There are going to be single-player quests and multiplayer quests, with single-player quests focusing on Leshtalem and building that back up, and take on, in their words, a style similar to an RPG. Man, I thought I was playing one this whole time. I guess I was wrong since last November, but anyway, I'm curious to see what that actually ends up meaning. And other things for the multiplayer, you can get AI allies, which was a little too frequent in the beta, but it is designed to be done with 4 people. So generally what you're trying to do is collect meteor shards to help reestablish the electric power grid that comes from the power plant in Leshtalem. There's a map of it, which I don't have handy right now, but that is your main base of operations, and that is your ultimate goal. And doing so unlocks more missions and allows you to go further and further out from Leshtalem in order to do these missions. We already mentioned Sid can customize your weapons. It's very similar to the way that it works in the single-player campaign. And on top of that, there are other things that can be done in the city, and you can take the people living in the city and ask them to do these things. Earlier, we saw that we would see familiar characters. It seems that those are the characters who you're going to be helping assign roles to make sure that the city stays in tippy-top shape. Also, one of the big things for the combat is the way that the combat itself actually works. You have royal sigils, which allow you to take on a role, and we got to see more of that specifically coming out of the ATR. Now, this was the one thing that I said that Comrades kind of sat on a knife's edge. If the roles weren't defined enough, I felt like that was going to be the nail in the coffin that would make Comrades kind of a mediocre multiplayer expansion. However, we got to see those in action in this little gameplay section right here. You got to see the tank not so focused on going in and being headstrong like you might be used to in the main game. They were able to taunt enemies, take attacks, block with the shield, and then attack safely, making sure that protecting their teammates and drawing the attention away from their more DPS-focused teammates was their function. And that's what I wanted to see. Now, of course, it's a very limited example of what they gave us, and it's not all-encompassing. So it doesn't mean that they're completely out of the woods yet, or they knocked it out of the park. We still have to see how it plays in actuality when you don't have 4 people who are on a stage playing it, who already know it and are already planning to work together. You need to see how it functions with 3 completely random other people, which we all know can, well, for lack of a better words, not be great. On top of that, the sigils do have the other roles. Obviously, damage dealer and healer are other options, so if you're not someone who wants to play in the front lines like a damage dealer, you do have multiple options. You, of course, also have the caster option, which is going to be focused primarily on magic. One of my favorite things about the magic going into Comrades was that each individual weapon sometimes has a special property about it, and one of those special properties can be that while you have that weapon equipped, it changes which magic spell you're casting. So if you have a katana with Fira on it, and then you press your magic button, you'll cast Fira. So that's really what I want to see. I want to see the caster role really be explored a lot, and it might be the first role that I explore when this comes out on Halloween, because the magic system is the thing I was most curious about, and it's the thing I liked the most from the limited parts I got to play when the beta hit. So that's going to be the section I really pay the most attention to. But it is compared to the holy trinity of MMORPGs. So if you are playing as a tank and you have those taunts, make sure you're responsible for them. But that's not the only thing. They also show footage of them gathering up before the King Behemoth fight that they take on, and buffing each other up with a with vitality buff, with strength buff, making sure they switch weapons to give the entire team a full heal, to really start fresh before this, ultimate encounter at the end of the quest that they were sent on. And again, I love that aspect of it, and that's something I'm glad they seem to be really pushing, is that degree of teamwork. Now, after the Comrade stuff was done, though, Hajime Tabata took the stage to talk more about the general Final Fantasy 15 universe, and they have revealed they continue to create content into 2018. Now, for those who may be like, of course they were going to. Originally, they said the original Season Pass was the only paid DLC content they were planning on doing, but that if demand was there, they would continue to produce more content. Now, episode Ignis is coming this December, and that was supposed to be the final piece of the Season Pass we have now. Of course, with the survey that was answered, with people asking for more Luna, for the hard mode, for Arden to get his own story, there's been a ton of other talks about stuff like that. And so they're going to keep producing more content to the game, and more specifically, they want to put the stuff in the game that the fans said was missing. Now, in case that sounds like it's sort of a cop-out in saying that the fans say it's missing, it's because they initially intended to tell the story with only Noctis's perspective for about 95%. There's a few scenes where you don't have Noctis's perspective, but it generally leads most of the storytelling to be done through, instead of being told to you like a story, it's told to you through things like books and third-party resources, so you have to become infatuated with the world. However, players highly demand actual visual representations of the things that are being told to us through those third-party medias, or through the minor glimpses of things you get in the game itself. So they want to put those things the fans want into the game. So you're someone who waited, said, hey, they'll do a complete edition, I'll play this game in 3 years when it's got everything. You're not wrong. Honestly, you probably made the better decision. I myself had a good time with 15, but I couldn't doubt that there were things that I wished were there. And so when they come out, I'll play through it again. PC version comes out, play that again. Episode Arden, Episode Luna, whatever they end up doing. Whatever, I'm going to cover it here on YouTube anyway. I might as well friggin' play it, you know what I mean? So that's what the plan is. They also said this is the last active time report, which is, it's kind of bittersweet. For me, the active time reports are always like, okay, the game's already out, why are we doing this? Obviously new DLCs, but they said they're going to be communicating through a new way. I'm curious what that new way is, so that they don't do active time reports. I'm wondering if it's going to be more like the way Nintendo does it with the pre-recorded stuff, but we'll just have to wait and see. Just no more live events, I guess, or nothing that is officially titled an active time report at the very least. So look forward to 2018. If you're someone who enjoyed 15 as a base game, or you're someone who's looking for it to be finished, then, you're going to get your wish. More and more stuff's going to be added based on player demand. Whether or not it'll cost money, we know we're getting some free story updates. We'll see which ones are paid, which ones are free. That's really going to be what people are looking out for in 2018 with Final Fantasy 15, that and the PC version itself. But anyway, let me know what you think about more content being developed for Final Fantasy 15, about what you've seen and heard so far of Comrades, the upcoming multiplayer expansion, again, October 31st. But on that note, it's actually late for me. It's 9 p.m. I'm just an old man in a young man's body. And I got LCS, or League of Legends World Championships, in an hour and a half, so I want to get a little bit of rest before we get started. But thank you for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned. I'll be keeping you up to date on anything else that happens with Final Fantasy 15 over the coming months, and be on the lookout for some guides for Comrades itself. I'll see you guys in the next one, and until then,